Cargo is this really small map in Onward that has a bunch of shipping containers in this really close quarters environment. Myself, Greg, Grover, Rover, and of course G-Man went into Cargo and we faced 32 experienced bots and some pretty intense co-op gameplay. I'm going to play it through real quick so you can see the clip in its entirety, and then afterwards we're going to play it back, stop, and talk through all of those micro decisions that go into close quarters battle and really just review the tape so that I can get better as a player and share some of the things that apply in this game, at the range, and in the real world. I'm Controlled Pairs and I play the most immersive PC games in the world. This is Onward.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Press check. Okay, we're good. Yeah. High speed, low drag.
Let's go.
Right clear,
On
go.
me.
On your left. Too strong. Too strong. Careful, I'm gonna shot you in the head. Shooting above you. Drive.
One at your right.
Clear. Up.
Yep.
With
long
you.
Again.
They're pushing left.
2 down long.
Strike.
Cold.
High low.
Moving.
Push.
Room clear. Going.
Flow.
Long. Exchange.
Grenade.
Oh no.
Man down.
Thanks, sir. I'm up. Pressing in. You can cycle if you want. I got you.
Need to heal. Cover. I'm up. Check 6.
Rear. I'm going for Greg.
Roger, I'm coming with. Go.
Got him. Traded. Fucking traded.
Woo! Oh, that was sweaty. Yeah, that was sick. Let's do that again. All right, now let's rewind and talk through each of these things step by step.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Press check. Okay, we're good. Yeah. High speed, low drag.
Let's go. G-Man's being a smartass here because, he's G-Man, but he's alluding to a pressure check, which means you're just checking to see that, in fact, a round is in your chamber and actually seated. So I begin the match by dropping my magazine and then looking at the top round in the magazine. And you can tell by which side of the magazine the highest round is sitting, whether or not one has actually gone into the chamber. Because remember, a 30-round mag, you rack the first round. And then, obviously, when you drop that magazine and look at it again, you'll see the highest round in that magazine is now seated on the opposite side of the mag. Also turned my laser on and got ready to fight. We agreed before the match even started that we didn't want to turtle up and barricade ourselves. Instead, we wanted to practice moving and fighting while we were moving, so we stuck with a dynamic method of clearance. Of course, that's suicidal in the real world. We're facing 30 some odd enemy. We would absolutely barricade ourselves and find corners to hide in, but that's not the case. We wanted to keep moving.
Right clear,
On
go.
me.
On your left. Too strong. Too strong. Careful, I'm gonna shot you in the head.
We're moving in a file. I call for the stack to fall in behind me, and then we all identify a target that is long to our front, about 75 meters. I start moving to cover while I'm simultaneously engaging, and G-Man starts engaging that target over my left shoulder. Really unsafe shot, but it's a video game. G-Man took up a spot right over my shoulder, and he's shooting over my head, but instead of just, running up behind me and beginning engaging over my head, he let me know that he was doing that so I wouldn't stand up and get shot in the back of the head. We're also communicating to each other whenever we're changing magazines so we can provide support while the other one is changing out. With you. Right here, I almost crossed behind Grover and would have engaged him in the back. The way the stack works, you're constantly touching your teammates around you, and you're kind of fighting shoulder to shoulder whenever it's appropriate. You have each other in your peripheral vision, and you just generally maintain situational awareness to prevent fratricide and have a good idea of where everyone is in the space around you. So in this situation, he did come into my peripherals. I would have bumped into him with my shoulder real world, and we're able to continue fighting safely downrange.
They're pushing left.
2 down long.
Strike.
Cold.
High low.
G-Man calls dry, I call cold, and Grover calls high-low. So as I'm changing mags and as G-Man's changing mags, we're going to a knee, and then Grover's staying standing. He's actually shooting right over my head, and then once again, he let me know that he's going to the high-low by saying high-low out loud. Of course, real world, you just feel that, and he'd be standing right over your shoulder. You'd feel his knees against your back, but he did let me know that he was coming over the top of me, so that way I'm not standing up again and getting shot in the back of the head, and I still have security while we're changing mags.
Moving.
Push, push, push.
Room clear, going.
We're making constant little call-outs. G-Man looks to the first room, calls it clear, so we know it's safe to bypass that room. I don't even have to take time to glance into it. We just took contact from deep and from the right, so instead of wasting my time looking into a room that's already been cleared by my teammate, he's called it clear and I can flow straight past it. Grenade, 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 grenade. We take contact from deep and I see a hand grenade come flying at us. It goes underneath my feet. I move to cover and I'm calling out grenade at the same time. An important difference between calling grenade versus calling frag out is whether it's a threat to you or whether you're employing it as a weapon against the enemy. If I'm calling frag out, I'm throwing a hand grenade at bad guys. If I say grenade, 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 that means they're throwing grenades at us.
Oh no.
Man down, man down.
I heard G-Man call out man down, and he said he was coming back, so I know that it's my job to pull security because I've got G-Man going to my down teammate, and I need to provide covering fire while he's doing that. I engage a couple of targets deep, and then after I make that close quarters engagement, I'm looking over my left and my right shoulder to where the next threat might come from. As I looked over my right shoulder, I identified another fire team size element, and I started engaging those targets. I knew that my M4 was about to go dry just based off of how much I had been shooting it, and once it did go dry, instead of changing mags because I was still in contact, I went straight to my secondary and I learned a lesson in acquiring a sight picture. Take a look at this. The adrenaline's up, I got my pistol up and into the fight, and I squeezed off 2 rounds, but they shot high above my target and into the door frame because I just didn't get the right grip and the right sight picture before engaging the target. That's why it's so important to train muscle memory over and over again. That's why you're constantly doing your rehearsals from the draw and you're using those transitions from your primary to your secondary instead of just taking your pistol out to the range and just plinking over and over again. It's important that you actually work that transition and that you make sure you have the muscle memory to achieve the right kind of sight picture to make these engagements. I need to heal, cover, I'm up, check 6. I get wounded, I let my teammates know that I need to heal and I need cover while I change mags and transition back to my primary weapon. I've now got 3 friendlies all in this small space. I've got 1 covering the door to my front, 1 covering the door to my rear, and because of that I know I have time to do a tactical mag change and get my primary weapon back into the fight. And that carries us all the way through the conclusion of the fight. We managed to knock out this entire level in just a couple of minutes, but we made so many of those micro decisions that apply not just in video games, but of course in real life, and it just forces that critical, rapid, tactical decision making to be successful in this sort of environment. I hope that you enjoyed this style of video. Certainly a lot more of this sort of stuff on the way because I'm just having so much fun in Onward. Such a valuable tool, not only for entertainment, but also for practicing some of the things that we discussed in this video. My name's Controlled Pairs and I play the most immersive PC games in the world. This is Onward, and I will see you in the next one.